Okay, now that we've unlocked all of the tech, now seems a good time to talk about the tech and the adjacency bonuses. Obviously this is rather complicated looking, so I'm going to scroll through a few different pictures that hopefully will explain things a little better. So, oh, I'm in the wrong bit. No, we'll just zoom in then. Okay, so the freighter tech we figured out already. The exosuit tech, basically we want, in the case of most tech, we want double placement if we can. So some in the general, some in the tech, and we want them in squares. Okay, so your life support will be 3 S-class upgrades and your life support itself. And in the tech inventory, you can do the 3 S-class upgrades and use the oxygen recycler as that connects to it. Don't use the rerouter because it doesn't. You can just add that on the end of it. The shields is only ever your upgrades for. There's nothing to connect them to, sadly. So do whatever you want with them, just make sure they're touching each other. Your jetpack stuff, you can have some in your exosuit general and some in your tech. Again, we're going for squares, okay? And you want your best ones together in that square. And just put everything else somewhere on the side of it, wherever it seems to give you the most boost. Okay, it's all about your S classes and making sure that they get the most boost. And we're going to play around with this in a video in a minute to see if we can come up with something better than the squares, because there are some tech where you're better off in a cross, for example, but most of them you'll find them better off in a square with any extras around the outsides. So again, if you're only using them in one inventory, so say just in your general, then this is the layout for your jetpacks. Right, so your square and the others off of it. Alright, just like you would here. But of course you're going to get less of a boost because you only used 3 upgrades, whereas down here you used 6 because you used 2 different inventories. Again, your life support, if you're doing it all in one, you just do them as a 3x2 rectangle. Yeah, and then your hazard protections, it's up to you how many you want, but put your actual upgrade modules in the middle and put your silly C-class blueprints around the sides, okay? Because if you want absolutely loads of hazard protection, you want all of these really decent actual upgrades in the middle, because they all essentially class as S-class. So they're better than the C-class ones that you build yourself. Also, your other random stuff like your hazard protection actual tech and your shield lattice upgrade for it, and also your underwater stuff, again, put them around the sides if you can. They do provide the adjacency bonus, but they're not as strong as your actual upgrades. Everything else that you can build in your exosuit, like your translators, you can build them however you want. Just make it doesn't really matter even if they touch each other, to be honest, because the adjacency bonus doesn't actually do anything with them, even though it shows up. Remembrance and Starseed, definitely put them next to each other, as you get an extra bonus to your health by doing that. And it doesn't matter where you put your refiner or your hazmat gauntlets, they don't actually connect to anything. Okay, I'm just going to stop and start again. So we move now on to our ships. Now, if we are doing single placement or double placement, it's not going to make a massive amount of difference to how we're building these. But again, we are aiming to make a square first with our best possible one of our blueprints helping our upgrades, basically. Now, you might think in this case that it would be the sublight amplifier, but I've obviously put it there for a reason. So I'm guessing that the instability drive gives more of a boost, but we'll have a play around with that in a minute. Here again, the tech and the upgrades together. You might find that putting the upgrade, the blueprint, next to the actual tech might result in a slightly better thing, depending on how good your upgrades are. We'll figure that out in a minute in the video. Your hyperdrives, again, you want your actual hyperdrive or your indium drive with your S classes around it. And then if you really want to keep your cadmium and emerald for the extra boost, then put them next to it, and certainly put your emergency warp next to it. Okay, and then again with the weapons, it's a similar thing. Put your actual tech and your free upgrades in a square, and then figure out where next to all of this it's going to give you the most by putting your tech upgrade, if you even decide to use your tech upgrade, which you don't have to. You can just have the square if you want. Also, you've got your teleport receiver, your conflict scanner, and your economy scanner, obviously. Now, if you're using both your general inventory and your tech inventory, then this is where your tech upgrades come in handy, because you make this nice, simple set of squares. So your photon cannon, for example, you'll have the tech and the 3 upgrades, and then in the tech inventory, you have the blueprint upgrade and 3 more upgrade modules. Okay, so it's basically that pattern. And then with your hyperdrives, you can again do your hyperdrive and your 3 S-class upgrades. All right, put your emerald and cadmium in your general inventory with it, but in your tech, you're just making a square again with the indium drive. So I'm sure you get the point there. You will also be able to put some bobbleheads in if you've unlocked them at the Quicksilver Merchant. It will only ever show one of them, but they do all give you boosts to your stats. Okay, I've got a graphic for that, but it's not currently up on the screen, so I can't remember which ones do what, but they all give you a boost to your stats. So you can build all 6, just only expect one of them to show up in your cockpit. And if you play around with deleting your figurines and reinstalling them, then you'll be able to get the one you want to appear. As for your trails, they don't give any extra boost as far as I can tell, so just pick which one you want and build that in. So all of these take slots in your general or tech inventories. Okay, so there's no point in building all 5 starship trails, it'll just use up your room. I think I've got time to talk about my bioships as well. You will never find a bioship in this layout, but this is the ideal layout. You're looking for squares again, basically. Obviously, you've got general 21 slots in the general inventory and 22 slots in the tech. You will find that between those 2, you will be able to create a square of all 6 things. That you want to put as many of them as possible in your tech so that they are protected from breaking. And of course, you can then, with any extra slots that you've got that weren't part of your squares, you can add extra S-class modules for the tech that you haven't actually got built in there already. You can upgrade your modules either before or after you install them. That is only a thing on the bioships at the moment. You just use nanites to make them better, basically. Upgrade them from C class to B class to A class to S class. It doesn't matter whether you've installed them yet or not, you can still do that. I think that's it for ships. I'm going to create a different one for the rest. Talk to you in a sec. Okay, so if we move over to our multi-tool, again, there's only one inventory here, so it's pretty much going to be this exact layout. So you're going to have your mining beam, tech, and your 3 upgrade modules around it in a square, your optical drill and your advanced mining laser at the bottom, and your C-class tech upgrade just off the side of it. Again, we'll play around with this in a minute to see if moving the optical drill or the advanced up there instead of the mining beam tech might make it better. We'll see. Same with the scanner. Again, the same concept. You make your square, put a thing off, put your tech upgrade slightly off it. Your bolt caster is slightly different, because if you pre-ordered the game, then, or if you've got like a disc copy from way back in the day, then you'll have the bolt caster SM as an extra bonus. So instead of just doing exactly the same as everything else, you'll also have that to add on, as well as your normal C-class upgrade to the tech. And again, your different weapons, same concept. And then your grenades are just a square. They don't have their own separate upgrade thing for it. You'll also need space for your analysis visor all the time and your terrain manipulator all the time. All right. I strongly recommend having your survey device on there as well. Then at optional, you can put your personal force field on and your combat scope on. So basically for your multi-tools, you're aiming to have 3 separate multi-tools. You want 1 experimental, 1 alien, and 1 just normal rifle. And you're basically going to build different weapons in each of them. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and your mining laser to pick from. and your grenades, pick one grenade or the other. And then in your rifle, don't bother with grenades at all. Okay, so between your 3 multi-tools, you will easily be able to fit everything in between the 3. And if you're lucky enough to have glitched like mine has and you've got the full 48 slots, well, then you can literally fit all 48 tech in them. But in all likelihood, your multi-tool will have 24 slots, not the 48. So if you think about that, in theory, 2 multi-tools could fit everything, but that's not quite true because some of these things are in your multi-tool no matter what, like your mining beam, your analysis visor, and your scanner. I think that might actually be it. Yeah. But yeah, if you lay it out nicely, you'll find that you'll have one that's really good at attacking, one that's really good at mining, and one that is really good at scanning. So you earn a ridiculous amount of money if you've got 3 S-class upgrades that are decent. You'll earn a ridiculous amount of money for scanning anything. Yeah, so that's the multi-tools. Okay, so that now leaves us with the exocraft then, which we've discussed at length in the other videos anyway, but let's go through them. Again, these are more complicated than the rest of the tech because you find sometimes the actual tech is stronger than the upgrades, and sometimes the upgrades are stronger than the tech. So we will play around with these plenty, I'm sure, but I believe this to be the best layout. You could perhaps, on the Roma here, switch the A-class upgrade with the actual tech. That might produce a better result, maybe. Your cannons are going to stay the same, just in a square. So is your acceleration, and so are your fusion engines. Along the top, you have your 4 hazard protections and your engine recharger. You could put your wheel thingies in there, but you want some gaps left, really, for collecting resources with. Alternatively, you could put your wheels in there and delete either the mounted cannon or the mining stuff, up to you. And then over here we've got our signal boosters. Okay, your Nautilon is really simple. Obviously we've not unlocked this yet, but again, it's just in a square for your cannon, in a square for your drive, put the upgrade just off it, and your Tethys beam is separate, your high power sonar is separate. Right, the exomech is where it gets a bit confusing. Okay, so what you're trying to do is create a T-shape with your monitor laser and the 3 S classes. Right, and then just put your precision mining laser off of it, right? So that's boosting 2 of your 3 S classes. This layout, for some reason, because of how good the monitor laser is compared to the precision laser, for some reason this T-shape results in better stats than if you just put them in a square. Again, I think it's because of how good the precision monitor laser is. The boost it's giving these 2 S classes is better than simply having the S class there. Yeah. Then again, same for the cannon. Put it in a T shape with your S classes boosting your monitor cannon from the sides, because the boost they are providing to that monitor cannon is better than the boost they can provide to each other. Okay, so like it was up here, these S classes are boosting that monitor laser better than they would boost each other. Put your bore up in the corner out of the way because it doesn't connect to anything. Down here, your engine, again, is slightly different. So you're doing the T-shape with the actual tech, putting the S classes around it, and just put your self-greasing thingamabob off the side of it. All right, so it continues to boost these 2 S classes. And then your other 4 are just separate anyway, they don't boost anything. Okay, if we go down to the Nomad and the Pilgrim, it's all about your own personal choice. Right, so you want either your scanners or your suspension. I'd suggest going scanners on your Nomad and suspension on your Pilgrim. Again, you can mix and match if you really want, but why? Prioritize either your engine or your acceleration, or if you really want, have 2 of each. All right, so put your engine and an upgrade, your acceleration and an upgrade. Yeah. Then choose 2 of the 4 hazard protections, and choose either your mining laser or your mining cannons. All right, so you can do whatever you want in these, but it's very limited space. So you prioritize what you want to prioritize there. But again, the same thing applies. If you're going to put all 3 upgrades and the tech, try and put them in a square. And then that leaves us with our wonderful Colossus where we can build everything. So you put your 3 scanners down the side here, your 3 wheelie suspensiony things down here, your 4 hazard protections there. Put your mining laser again, try it like this first, but if it turns out that the laser is better in a T shape, then do your T shape that I said before about on the mech suit. Your cannon just in a square, your boosters just in a square, and your fusion engine just in a square. And that's it for Exocraft. I hope that teaches you everything you need to know about your adjacency. It is all like fairly simple, and you just play around with it a little bit to get it exactly how you want it. Hope that helps. Have a nice day.